So I don't know if you can hear me. I think there's a lot of dropped frames currently. That's what I'm seeing. I don't really know what the deal is on that. So not receiving a video. Maintain smooth streaming as such. Yeah, this is not good. Dude, my OBS is going nutso. Is it clear? I can't tell. It shows a ton of drop frames. I see that you can see and hear me. If it's clear, and it's just whatever is going on with OBS is... We'll just... It's buffering now? That sucks. Fuck. I don't really understand. I don't know if it's back. Shows the connection is excellent. But I'm getting a ton of drop frames on OBS. Like, I don't understand. We started the entire computer. I think now is to reset my actual. I think it's working now. What? Yeah, I had to reset it. My stuff was just like all not working. Can you close that door, please? Thanks. Getting the content going. Bear with me. I think we're good now. No, I have one viewer currently because of everything going wrong, but we're back. Okay. We'll get 6 How about that? Let's turn the music down a little bit. Yeah, I think we're good now. So, hello. Thank you for showing up. I know I haven't shown up in about a month. I've been all over the country doing stuff for work, so kind of hard to stream when you're not in your streaming setup, right? So doing that. So I haven't played in roughly a month and a half, almost 2 months since the last ProQuest that I played that I ended up winning, right? You guys, if you've seen the finals of our like little video series where we've been recording some of the ProQuests that we're at, I actually did not win the finals in that situation, but my local was kind of to say, hey, I can't go to Japan. I want you to go to Japan because I definitely will. I want to. And I want to, you know, represent team in Yokohama. So I got the win. And we just played it out. And we'll review that game as well a little bit later. There's 3 games of me on those videos, right? One against a Mario, one against a Syndra, which was Andrew Cook on the team. He destroyed me, and then of course Kano got me at the end. I actually did beat a Kano at that ProQuest one day, so it was round 5. like a win and in seeding placement. I think I would have got in if I lost anyway, but I ended up getting him. It was pretty cool. So we'll tell that spicy story pretty soon. Anyway, so yeah, let's go ahead and let me pull up the decks. Where's it at? Okay. So yeah, I didn't play for about a month and a half, 2 months. Played us a little bit of Florian. Ended up playing this list here. Bear with me. Need to start Talishar. That's how I got it figured out. All right. So here's the list. Let me zoom in just a little bit so you guys can see it. So very basic Florian list, but we'll kind of go over some of the sideboarding that I have too, just in case you want to take this to one of your pro quests as well. As of late, I feel Verdance is probably the stronger of the Earth heroes. So if you just really like playing like a Guardian-centric game plan, Florian's really good at doing that. Verdance, your opponent basically starts at like 32, 33-ish. If you can catch them with their pants down on a like good Storm Strider's turn. So it's kind of hard to beat when every opponent is going to be less than that, and you have, you know, good game into almost everything, right? Because Florian had pretty severe matchups. Gravy is pretty hard. Same thing for Verdance as well, but I think both of them have reasonable game plans in that, but you can't beat a wizard with this unless you just get crazy lucky like I did. All right, so this is the list. You know, just like I said, very standard. Playing Channel Mount, heroic, centric game plan, all your normal things. 2 Condemned to Slaughters, because I wasn't sure what to kind of expect with all the new heroes, and then playing auras out like a Pleiades or a Lyth style deck. So I was like, well, you know, I need a couple of more non-tech actions just to be able to have consistency with the Face Purgatory, so I threw into it those. Everything else is very standard. This is probably the all-star card throughout the entire weekend in that pro quest. So I know it's very unassuming, but you pitch this early, late game when you really need to keep a channel around to push damage if you're in a mid-range like War. This card is really good at keeping your channels around a lot longer, or pushing to find something that you might need. Like, for instance, I have trees in the board, 2 trees, and one game specifically, I played Tome to draw into the tree and then clear the game, because otherwise I would have had my hand completely up and I likely would have lost that one. So, yeah, main deck here, it's, like I said, pretty standard. Some of these cards are going to come in and out. I know some people like the main deck like to be always what it is, but, you know, just depending on how I feel, I will adjust things for that. But 2 Cadaverous, 2 Channel. Deny Redemption, I actually am not huge on this card at all, but it ended up being, or it ended up making the list because of the likelihood that I would be able to face against a Verdance. And if you have this on the turn that they try to go off, then obviously it's very strong and you can usually close out the game after that. So this was just a hedge for that. I ended up not playing against any Verdance, so it didn't matter at all. I did bring it into like Kano, I guess, but like it's wasn't very good. It wasn't anything crazy, but I had a couple of slots. I was okay with it. Outed is here. I also like this against Verdance as well, and mainly for Gravy to be able to clear out their dudes. 5 Rootbound Carapace. I know some lists have been playing just 3 or 3 and 1 yellow. I ended up on 2 yellow in addition to all of that. Remember, Swarm, Shelter, Sink, all your standard stuff, Summer's Fall. Amulet of Echoes. I didn't know if we were going to have a Celio in the field, but I wanted to have at least one because the Celio, just Wizard in general, is such a hard matchup for these slower value-centric decks that if you get this out before they do their combo, excuse me, then it feels really strong, right? Because they go Gone in a Flash, you crack this, their turn gets not completely halted, but like it definitely dampens it to where you're not going to be taking just a bajillion damage, right? And then Seeds of Tomorrow. I've always been a big fan of this card here. It's kind of one of my pet cards. I liked it significantly more when Plume was around, but this kind of effectively works as a defense reaction in the mid-rangey style matchups, and if you draw it on a very critical turn like against Kano, it can help you out. It ended up not mattering at all, but you know, there are some niche situations where I do like this. This was a second Amulet of Echoes, but again, I didn't know if there was going to be a lot of Celio, and if there was, it was just going to be one, and the likelihood that I play against them was going to be pretty low, so I didn't want to devote 2 sideboard slots just to specifically Celio. Then the rest, Crown of Providence, Dyadic Carapace, and Northern Boots. Crown of Providence is a card, after I played a little bit with this, I generally locked this into things like Syndra, because I can just arsenal whatever, get a card if I need to, and move on from there. But the disruption of Face Purgatory is actually extremely relevant in that matchup specifically. That I don't know if there is a lot of merit to actually playing this in general. So I would probably cut this and play like Dread Scythe potentially. So just in case you play against some like Degenerate Fatigue Jarl, or you play against Puffin. I like Dread Scythe against Puffin because they have ways to kill your gloves, and that's like your main value engine, right? Made your top 8 on Florian at PQ last week. Nice. Congratulations on your swing big. So anyway, talking about the matchups, the first matchup played against was Mario, and that was a very interesting matchup. So in general, right, they have all these tricks and all these like combat interaction pieces and things like that, and disruption built into their cards. And the way they generally will kill you is, yeah, that crown is not it. Yeah. I ended up, thinking after the fact, like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have had that. But in general, like, they're going to flip into one of the agents, keep a full hand, and then just like some insane disruptive piece or like damage push, and that's how they kind of like win. And then the Flick Knives will generally get there. The way I played in this game, and it kind of lined up, and we're gonna show this off here. So let me zoom in here. So let's look at this. Proco's team was 4 Syndra, 4 Florian, 1 of me, 1 of Andrew, 3 Verdant, 3 RKO, 2 Kano, Kasai, Mario, so on and so forth. You guys can read that. The ones that you might not be, it's just Min set. It's the only one that's cut off. So RKO, pretty good matchup. Let's talk about the rest of these. Syndra, I think this matchup is pretty hard now, especially with the Spell Void Dagger that they have. They're able to just like continuously buy that back. And it's kind of like a Valiant Dynamo, but for free. Like, they don't have to do anything additional. I guess Warriors technically don't either. They just go swing twice, but like, it's like Valiant Dynamo, but for rain. It's pretty crazy. Verdance, happy I dodged these because these can be pretty hard. RKO is a freebie. Didn't see a single one, but if I got paired into that, I'd be super happy. I got paired into both Kanos, believe it or not. It's great. Love that. Both Kanos top 8'd too. Deck is kind of insane. 2 Kasai, didn't see those. I actually think that matchup is pretty even. You have to make sure that you can get around their dude generation, I guess. Right. And if you can clear out their boys and decompose quickly, then I actually feel slightly favored in that matchup. And then Mario, like we said, just got to make sure that you block correctly and you read the proper lines and whatnot. Same thing with Slippy, -IO. I feel like this one would be okay. Dorinthia is very good. Thing, this one is hit or miss. Sometimes I feel this is unfavored. Sometimes it's even. I'm probably along the vein of it's unfavored right now, unless you can get some, especially with my list not being able to get rid of some of their fealty easily. Because if I Summer's Fall target their fealty, they can break the fealty and stop me from decomposing, which is like very, very problematic if I'm trying to decompose to get to the last bit. Gravy's a bad matchup. Ira's pretty fair. Like even Katsu, I think is pretty good, just because you do have so much defensive utility. KO, kind of 50-50. Marlin, depending on their build, is pretty hard. It can be hard, and they also have to, not brick and whatnot. But I know Taylor loves Marlin. He's definitely beat me up Marlin. So, but in general, I feel like it's 50-50, maybe favored because of all the D-reacts. Against Fang is unfavored. Yeah, that's... I haven't lost to a Fang in a long time. And one of the best warriors in the world, on the team. So maybe that's why. Maybe that's why I get so much practice into him. Max is also whatever. Olympia, whatever. They're usually on Axe, so just board up. And then Vincent feels pretty decent as well. And also high roll, just the capability, right? So we won't go super slowly with this. I do need to turn this up a little bit.
Moved in? Yep. Yep. No.
So, sorry, let me go back. So we daggers, I block, do nothing there, okay. So Arsenal pass.
Make a rune chant.
Rune chant. Just play Cadaverous. The point I'm trying to get past here is I keep my life total like very, very high, and I'm just like making sure that he doesn't mark me. Oh my goodness. 2x KO. Who's been playing that game? Should have thought about this. All the ads. Yeah, I don't. YouTube Premium. Who's that? But yeah, basically on this, I was trying to make sure that I wasn't getting marked, and he didn't basically mark me, I think, the entire game, so I was able to just get around that. I had shelter at the right spot, and if you can do that, the matchup is pretty good. Hunter Platt. He's in our locals playing thing. I don't think so. Maybe. I haven't been around a lot, so I apologize. So I think Brett, he ended up just missing. He got 9th, so he did really well this ProQuest as well. I was his first loss, and I think he lost his 4th or 5th match, which ended up pushing him to 9th, unfortunately. So okay, thinking about the sand, so just kind of fast forward a little bit. I'm just doing some value trades, getting some blocks out of him. Doing go again into the sword. So he goes big pump on the daggers. I block. Rootbound Carapace block out the 9. He flicks. I don't want to skip too hard.
That sounds way more. Alright, go ahead.
And then I shelter. Exactly. So like I was able to get around that, which is a big deal. So that's like a big punish for him. Like I just happened to have my last card be that shelter, and it was able to really push this a lot further. So I didn't have anything. I had to block with the entire hand from there.
Do you have a reaction?
Trying to see what it. It's an up six dagger. Sink below. Get rid of that. He shreds me. Then I use my other defense reaction. So I'm able to... I was going to go ahead and take 1. I wasn't too concerned about getting marked specifically at that point, but because he played the shred, I just was able to luckily have another defense reaction to block that really efficiently, right? He's a part of Righteous. I might know Hunter. I might, but I'm from Alabama, so I don't know if you knew that. So I'm not specifically in like the North Carolina crew, but I think I do know Hunter now that you mentioned that he's part of the Righteous Gaming. Alright, so make some rune chant, swing that sword. But there's a really cool turn that I kind of want to highlight on this that is pretty important. So, and just using kind of your game knowledge and playing a lot to kind of see that. I think it might be this one here. It's not this one. So just block this out. Codex.
Might trigger.
No witness, that, and then I'm play a felling, of course. Yeah, so this obviously lined up very, very well for me. This is the turn. This is very interesting because he ends up taking all of the damage. So this tells me that this is likely a... I don't remember exactly what I said, so we'll just be quiet and listen for a minute. Yeah, it was a shred and a mantle.
He's well grounded. There's one prevention floating still.
Okay, it wasn't specifically this turn. I think it was the very next turn.
That's it? Yep.
Yeah. This is the next turn, because this is where I think Arsenal's a mantle. Yeah. Keeps the shred. It's effectively the same kind of turn.
Play E-Strike, go again. For 2 and 5.
Just maximizing my turn-by-turn hand value here.
Yep.
Yeah, so he takes everything here. It's kind of hard to judge what he would have had in this scenario. Like, I can see it now, obviously, but it depends, right? I don't think they are legal, technically. How do you feel about the Verdance matchup? You just have to be aggressive. That's the way I've been playing that. So we're going to pause for just a second. So talking about the see-through sleeves, I don't think there can be some malicious intent with using see-through sleeves because if you have a card that's damaged or, you know, there's some nicks on the card, it just happens, right? That's why the opaque sleeves are generally the only way to play. I think they are technically not legal, but in this case, you know, like, this is kind of a lower tier event, so nobody like gave him a hard time about it. And you know, I know Brett really well. He's one of my locals. I knew he had no malicious intent, so this was kind of a gray area. Technically, he shouldn't have been using those, right? But it is what it is. Like, I mean, this game, as you can see, was not very close. So if he was trying to cheat, he was doing it very poorly, right? But again, I know he wasn't cheating. He's a good guy. And then talking about the Verdance matchup. So I was showing the sideboard earlier. I have a couple of the new, I think it's called Deny Redemption. It's discard, they can't gain life. It's a Rune Blood, 3-block, or Rune Blade, 3-block, 0 for 3 attack, right? And if you draw that whenever they try to do their like potion combo turn or something along those lines, then it feels pretty good. I play AB3, so their damage from their arcane reach, they really have to kind of push a little bit more. Generally, they'll use the combo if they're not on combo. You just have to make sure that you're keeping your life total a little bit higher, so you're not just getting ground out. But you also have to kind of walk them down with you, because you ideally would like to be a little bit lower than them, but you're trying to be aggressive at the same time, so it's a little weird, right? But I do think it's a little unfavored. I would rather be on the Verdant side.
Take 4. Take 4. Yep.
So I take 4 here because he doesn't have a clave. So that was probably a mistake that he made a little bit earlier, but he had a reasonable play line for that, because he was trying to mark me, shred, and then on top of that, do a mantle to do some additional disruption in the previous turn, right? So in hindsight, if he knew about the well-grounded, thought about that, maybe that's the display, because it was just in play. Like, it obviously it started in play, right? So that's something he might have needed to think about at that specific instance. But here I call out his exact hand. I didn't call out the mantle, but I called out his exact hand. I said it was the only thing that makes sense with this would be shred and Hunter's Call.
We're gonna gain 2.
Wait till Moon gets banned or Striders. I have not. I want to play Verdance. I think Verdance is fun. So, Light Up the Leaves, Burn Bear, like, she's really good. Maybe she needs to be kind of toned down a little bit, but I love the Earth Hero, so I'm not complaining personally about her. She does have some bad matchups. I am actually of the opinion that she won't be touched for Worlds. If that's the case, then might be
think you might have a shred like
ready.
Hunter's Call.
See, shred Hunter's Call.
Trying to play around. So,
see, I call out his exact hand. He hit poker face perfect. He didn't even flinch. That's awesome.
Don't necessarily mind that though.
So because I was thinking it was a shred Hunter's Call, I wanted to block this, but force him to use those cards. And then I had the Felling plus a blue plus another card. The other card was the one I was going to banish off of this this Mark of the Black Widow, right? But the mantle on top ripped a card that he gets to choose, because he's able to turn this into a Persuasive Prognosis. But I was so far ahead at this point that me taking this this disruption ended up not being that detrimental.
Shred. Yep. Discard. Yep. Hey, I called it. Yeah. All right. So I'll banish a card. Not yet. Oh, okay. Continue. Take of the Mantle. That was the other card I was thinking it might be as well. This will go up to 2 naturally. Yeah, so that's 2 plus 3. So you're gonna frog. Okay. So this will go up to 5. Yep.
And then he's able to take my Felling here.
All right. So I have no reactions. So banish the top, and then you take.
Moxie, what do you play?
That's the way that works, right? Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
I know you played Florian, but is that what you're planning on playing?
And then I gain 2. Gain 2. Yep. Yep. You're no longer marked. Right.
Yeah. So now, I think all I do is really sword.
It was all
Go back. But that was the big turn that I kind of wanted to highlight with this. Move forward a little bit. Yeah. So make some rune chance, keep a card. Kiss of Death. Do I count that? No, I said no blocks on that. So that's one thing that happens in this matchup too, is a lot of times if I don't have a defense reaction, I will just kind of make that if I have the life total to play with. That way I can block the important card next, which is the CNC, right? Because at that point it's just damage. So it's 24 to 9, so I'm feeling pretty good here. I just send 5.
Reactions.
I've never really focused on money.
Reasons.
A
Not sponsored.
Plan helped me save an emergency fund.
Alright, gets a Chelicera. No, he took that back. Okay, so he grabs the Hunter's Clave. Probably correct. So big damage.
No reaction.
Oh, this is a really good hand, too.
11, 12. No blocks.
Yeah, just take it. Eat it. Put me down.
I'm not gonna do that.
Play channel. Make rune chance. Go again. 2 and 4. Plus E-Strike for 10, I believe.
Okay, I guess I'm blocking for a while.
Yeah, yeah. So this is how it is. I've been playing him since Aurora rotated. It went to him. Been on it since, even when everybody said it was awful through the bans and all. Yeah, I've been playing Florian basically the entire time too. Did a little bit of Verdance, but I actually started with Verdance when they when Rosetta first came out. I was like really excited about her, but she wasn't actually that amazing until like the past couple of sets when they printed Burn Bear and Light Up the Leaves, and now she's just crazy. Check comparing lists. I used to like Deny Redemption until I went with Weakest Link. Trying to rip ramps and pots. Yeah, that's reasonable too. I think I probably I might like that a little bit more actually. I just went with the Deny Redemption. This is a new card and like it's not something that they would generally play around, but it does require you to have it in your hand. So you could potentially do the IP situation once you get late game. Like a lot of times they're just being defensive. You can just block out and just hold on to that. Send sword. If they're on the Evergreen loop, though, that's where it could be a little sketchy. So you have to kind of look out for that and see their pitch deck. Yeah, so the classic Arcane Seeds life into sword for a ton. Maybe all of that. Now he's just in this blocking mode for a long time. I'm trying to close out. CNC. With some rune chance. So now we're just in this game where it's very hard for him to keep a hand because I'm able to continue this. Sword plus 6. Yeah, trot along, getting in there. Yep, and now I'm just got a bunch of blues. I'm trying to maximize damage and get cards out of his hand. He has one more that he's able to keep. He's going to give me the Flick Knives now. Once he gives Flick Knives, it is not as scary at all, right? So I feel pretty good. I don't know what that card was, but yeah, and the channel's just going to get there for sure.
Do this first just to get it.
Rune Chance, 4 and 2. Gotta give me a D-React. Fortunately for me, he had that. He has one more card. He's actually doing pretty well, considering the fact. Block out, make some mites. Then eventually I'll get there for sure. So, 2 and 7. He's doing a really good job of keeping around. I do make the decision to just go ahead and make a bunch of rune chance on this because I just want to be able to close out the game. And I'm doing that. So get the value out of my armor currently coming in for 3. Block with my armor, continued. I have a D-React in hand, so it doesn't really matter. Because I can send my sword, he's dead. Right, and that's the thought process. So he's shredding something. Not a big deal. That's it. That was the game. So sending the sword, so you can see. Big thing on that I was trying to highlight is if you can take it to where you can deny the marks and just kind of have efficient turn cycles, then it's really not that bad. But your shelters do need to line up and whatnot, obviously. Okay, which also hits gravy with the allies. See though, it's ability. Yep. Yeah, I think Weakest Link is probably the better card. I think about it. It's unfortunate that I didn't think about it before. But yeah, I do like that. Again, I hadn't played in a little bit, so through the team, they were like, "Oh, Deny Redemption is so good. Just play this card." And I was like, "Okay." So to review the list, I think Canopy Shelter is actually a big card. No, I love Canopy Shelter. I will not be cutting that card. I think that card's super, super good. Just at late game being able to get to, I mean, this is a 4 value card late game. Otherwise, it's 3 value card. And it being a block card is kind of relevant in some matchups as well. Okay. So round 2, there wasn't a video match on that, but it was against Florian. It was against Andrew Lawrence. Very good player. He's top 8 multiple callings and whatnot. Like super, super strong player. And his deck easily was better than mine in the mirror. Like easily. You had like Bramble Sparks, because I had no Bramble Sparks in the list, right? I just have all this like extra crap. But my trees were what ended up like winning me the game. So fortunately, because it's a mirror, there is a little bit of luck to it. And I was the one who got a little bit luckier because I was able to decompose faster. And some of my decomposes were plow unders, which ended up getting his decomposes that he had arsenaled, like Rootbound Carapace and Filling of the Crown, because he told me after the game, he was like, "Yeah, dude, your plow unders were just nuts." And I was like, "Yeah, your deck is like definitely better in the mirror." And he's like, "Yep." And I said, "Yep, it is what it is." So yeah, it was just like a general Florian mirror. You know, you're just like chipping back and forth. He has a really good early channel set up. So I'm behind, and then I have a really good channel set up, and I pull it back to about neutral, and then later on I get a channel sooner, and because I decompose faster, I'm able to get more value out of the grasp for a longer period during the game, and then like I said, that was the Florian matchup where this Toma Harvest easily won me the game, because we're at this point, we're both like very low single digit, and we're just sending our swords and trying to get as many cards out of each other's hands as possible, so that way the clapback isn't that crazy. I Tome of Harvest, and I'm able to get channel and then kill him with the channel. So big fan of Channel the Millennium Tree. This is a card that for sure I think should be in the sideboard, at least as a 2. I have played 3 in the past as well. It's just based on the ratios and the way I'd like to board with this. I was only on 2. So going back to the Mario game, just to kind of talk about the board plan here. I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see. So the cards that I am not bringing in, I'm not bringing in channel, because that's not really the name of the game. This is more mid-range card, or I'm trying to be very aggressive into something like Gravy. I do like this card a lot as well. But into something like Assassin or Cinder, for instance, I don't really want that card, even though it's a 3 block. It's a lot of investment for not a lot of output. Whereas Channel is investment, but you get more value out of it because you're able to send Command and Conquers for 9, which is kind of problematic for them in a lot of situations, right? So Deny Redemption, again, this is basically only for the Wizards, just because I'm playing it because I have to in a lot of cases, but then for Verdants. And then Rune Rager Swarm, this is one that I don't bring in. So I would rather have the way the board is set up. So as you saw here, so this is the baseline. So I'm bringing in all the D-reacts, right? So that's 11 there. And then I have 2 more slots. Those 2 more slots are going to be Cadaver Stilling, just so I can have a little bit of extra value turn push, right? That's kind of the idea. And the rest just kind of stays out because I don't need these extra here. I'm not trying to play a channel-centric game. I'm trying to play a mid-range game for that. Channel tree is main board 3 of. Thank you later. I don't know if it's a main board for me, at least the way I've been playing lately, but it is very good. It is very good. I don't deny that, not at all. So in the Florian mirror, so I do go up to 65. So this is exactly what I did. I didn't bring in Shelter. I do bring in Sinks, no Redemption, Outed, or Amulet, but I do play Seize of Tomorrow just because if they plow under me, I can just say, oh, okay, well, I'll just use this and block most of your damage and still have 3 of my cards. And that's pretty good because you were going to get rid of it anyway. So that's kind of the idea for that. And then I'm just playing all the cards that I like, right? So you want to have good channel turns, so that's why I'm playing the Rune Rager. Cadaver's Tilling is obviously something that you need. You want to maximize Depose as quickly as possible. So that's why the Summersfall and that is there. And then Summersfall is also very good against things as well. I think he had a tree out, and I ended up Summersfalling the tree, and it was like kind of a disaster for him because he wasn't going to see it until way later in the game, where potentially he would have to block with it anyway because he wouldn't be able to keep sheer quantity of cards. He'd be 3 cards in his hand, and at the single digits, it's very hard to do that, right? So everything else, pretty standard. Next, I play against Syndra. We'll talk about how I'm bored with that. So I have Crown of Providence, and like I said, the idea was I could use this, get rid of my arsenal, and then do something else with the additional card if I need to block additionally, right? But then after that game, I was like, you know what? This card's just better. Like, we're just going to play that. So this is very similar. No, it's exactly the same as the Mario configuration, except I was playing the Crown of Providence. And this is that game. So it was very difficult. And I'm kind of excited to review this one as well, because I'd like to see how I kind of punted this, because I feel like there was probably something that I could have done better. We're going to listen to some Godzilla first, I guess. So the problem with this game on my side is I wasn't able to decompose nearly as quickly as I needed to. And then I sat on a Powder in my arsenal for a long time, waiting on him to arsenal, and that probably was just me, you know, probably should have just got out of there anyway. He played very well around it, of course. So right now I'm just kind of adding the grave, getting some stuff out there, making some rune chants. Probably should just play this this evergreen life just for the life. Let's get it out of there.
I'll gain a life. Sure. But I won't gain a life.
You won't. You will not.
I'll send 3 and 3.
Sure. I'll spell void one of the rune chants.
Yep, makes sense. So there's that Valiant Dynamo situation happening.
I know we got, well, yeah.
Let's go to 35.
Yeah, it's good
It takes it all, feels good. This is the highest life total discrepancy that we'll have in favor of me basically the entire game.
All right.
Think you didn't block with grass in the chest? You're talking about here in this game? Maybe so. So block out, block out. My hand is just like really piss poor. Very difficult to do anything.
Sorry.
I think here I misread one of the cards, and
So first 2 damage. Yep.
so I think I just gave him free fealty as well, which is kind of mid. Then he gets a fealty no matter what because of the mark, because of the oh no, this wasn't Draconic at the time.
6.
So I do block with that. I just want to stop that and not give him the fealty. But I couldn't decompose.
We'll go Ronin Renegade. Here we go again. Remember, make a field.
So next one. Oh yeah, this was brutal. This turn was kind of insane. It was a slap in the face because he was able to pump over, and then he like played the blue no block that gives +1 as well. It's like a lunging press that it marks. This is so insane.
Here we go again.
So do block that just to not take the mass trigger. Block again. Yeah, this is it. 1 in the mask. Golly. Brutality, honestly. Yeah, so we're just falling behind the entire time. Hand sucks again. I have nothing really to do. So I do block with those.
Yeah.
just so he doesn't get an extra mass draw.
Field. React then down to 20. This goes up to 4. Go again. Okay. Keep these like on top.
A different tournament into Syndra.
Easier access.
I think this is the only video for that. I don't know if I've had any into Syndra. Yeah. The 2 blocks can be an issue, and that's another reason that I think Burdens is a little bit better positioned into this meta. Honestly, she's doing very good. You get things like mental block in addition to the into shelter, right? So I feel like this matchup is just like better for her in a lot of ways. So block 4, block 3. Now it's just a snatch, and I'm like, man, I really don't want you to have that snatch. I haven't decomposed at all, so that felling wasn't going to be super crazy. Remove fruits of the forest and make sure everything is 3 block. That's probably relevant. I just have to be like conscious of my blue ratio. So removing fruits, I would need to make sure that I have enough there. It might be worth it. I think I was on 27 blues to go down to 24 and just kind of eat it. I finally find a root-bound carapace, but it's a little too late for that, right? So, unfortunately. So we do the felling, but I'm too far gone at this point. I can't claw back, right? Just block where I can, get flicked, gotta block again. Keep the 1 card, just make some rune chance gain a life. And you can see that Plowhunter just rots in my arsenal the entire time. So block for 4. Block for 4. But again, the life discrepancy is just so bad. I finally get to play that Plowhunter and get the final decompose, but it's just over at this point. No, I'm just trying not to die. So that was the game. So, yeah, pretty poor. I don't feel like I played that too terribly. I just think, like, the draw sequence wasn't what I needed to be able to get there. No, but you should check the other list. Get more block 3 blue options. Okay. So, yeah. That was that game. I need to... trying to remember what I played against round 4. It was Dory. So I played against like Unga Bunga Dory. They're just coming at me. So against Dory, what I will generally do is board 66. And this is exactly what I did against a blind Dory. I didn't know what he was doing. I wasn't scouting as effectively as I probably should have. But I'm playing everything except for Summers Falls and all this other like tech stuff that I'd be playing into some of the more specific matchups. But Rune Rage's Swarm, like, just in case they're on Decimator, I want to be able to have enough density to be able to have value-centric turns. But the way the game played out is they got, like, all 3 Iron Song determinations basically super early, but on the turns where they had that in addition to, like, a Steel Blade Supremacy, I was able to block that out and keep it around. And then, obviously, the boots came in pretty clutch at a certain point, and then I was able to just kind of get there with the value of, you know, sending the sword and making rune chance and doing the broken Florian things once your hero power is active, right? So, overall, good game. Felt very strong into that. Dory is, I believe, a very favorable matchup in general. You can see I'm at 27 blues like I was talking about. 26 when I'm not playing this. Okay. Then the last matchup was Kano. So I don't have a Kano button, so I'll go ahead and make one for you. Let's go to Kano. So against Kano, I am playing basically... I think I played this too. Summer's Fall. The extra blues. obviously I was playing the AB. So I decided not to bring Dyadic, or not Dyadic, the AB hat, the Runeblade AB hat. I didn't bring that to the tournament. Because in general, like if I played against Kano, it was going to be pretty unfavored anyway. And these are the boot slot that I prefer into the mirror. So here, outed the Rune Rager Swarms. Then I believe just one yellow Carapace just to have like an or channel. I'm not big on channel just because it takes so much investment to that and it doesn't do a lot of push. They already have an AB3, so if they wanted to, they could knock out the majority of it, right? So this was the idea. In this game, I drew turn 1 channel, played it, just sent it. Next turn, sent some more damage. Turn after that, I ended up drawing another channel. So I sent more damage and just went crazy. And then it was like felling for 7. I had like 1 blue left in my hand or something along the lines. It was either that or I had some floating left over just in case they were going to combo. So they did have to attempt a combo, and they ended up, I think, bricking a little bit. Either way, I was at like a super high life total, like 30-something, 37, because I was sending so much damage at them that they were just getting chipped down as they were trying to like establish potions or whatever else. And they weren't able to get enough of a damage threshold to go like double blazing or double wildfire or something like that to be able to kill me from like 37 or whatever I was at. So got very lucky there. Once I sent the felling, that was like, okay, we gotta go, we gotta try it. So in response to the felling trigger, that's when they started doing all the things, and then didn't get there, then they died to the felling damage. So got there. I thought that was the win, and it ended up being the difference between making 4th or making 8th. So I got 4th, so I got a little bit of a choice against some others. So top 8 was Florian, KO, Kano, Syndra, Verdance, and I can't remember the last one because I didn't play against all of them, right? But my top 8 match was against Florian. It was a little bit of the same situation as the first one, but even though my deck is not as good in the mirror without having the Bramble Sparks or anything like that, I ended up being able to extract a little more value over each turn cycle than my opponent did in the quarterfinals match. So they were playing Dirge as well, which I thought was like kind of interesting. There was a really funny situation. He I ended up sending so much like disruption on one turn that it had to channel out that he ended up like dirging the channel. So I thought that was kind of spicy. Obviously that's not the intent of a dirge, but you know, he extracted the value on that, and you know, I respect it. It was good. So there was one turn where they were able to get a really good face purgatory off of me on my channel. Their list also only had 2 channel heroics and 2 channel millennium trees. So me having the extra Mount Heroic was definitely a big difference, because being able to get that last push with the channel Mount Heroic was kind of a big deal. So I was able to get that game. Also pretty close, like Florian mirrors generally are. I was able to decompose a little bit faster than that. I think it was pretty equal, actually. But overall, did that. Everything's good. Then I play against Andrew again. And on the table to our side, it was Kano versus Florian. And I was like, oh gosh, you know, whoever wins that, if I win this, I'm going to have a hard time no matter what. So we're playing. I do decompose quickly on this one. So, you know, long story short, I won that match, right? Based on the results of this. And there were a couple of turns to kind of highlight. So there was one where I had well grounded, and Andrew played expertly around the well grounded because he had a cut through, which is forced to you have to hit with a dagger for it to get going. So he flicks his dagger, targeting himself to play around my well grounded. So then after that, I end up having to well grounded. I get rid of it, And he's able to continue his turn, chip down a little bit more, but we're really close in life totals. The following turn, I play as if I have a shelter. So I have bark skin. I block with the bark skin. And I have 1 blue, 1 non-attack. Doesn't really matter the color. And then I had a arcane seed life. And they were at low enough life total, I believe it was 5, that with the test and the first block, they attack with something else. I go down to almost 1. I think it was 2. And so the flick wasn't going to be automatic lethal. So he ends up flicking himself on another cut through just to play around the shelter, because of the way I blocked. It very much seemed like I was going to discard a shelter to stop things, right? But then I end up blocking for 4 on his next thing, and he isn't able to close out. So after that, I go make some runes, arcane seeds, attack with sword. Because he's at 5, he has an all red hand, as opposed to. He breaks the deck, buys back dagger, pitching 3 reds, breaks dagger again. I ended up blocking, if I remember correctly, I had a canopy shelter, so I was able to get 2 mites, and this is where that canopy shelter is good. So I was sending 5 to where that forced him to get the last card out of his hand to push down to like 1, and at that point I was able to clear it out with because I was able to get full tempo, send arcane, win the game. And then from there was the Kano match. The Kano match, so this is where that is. Excuse me. It was Mario. Mario was the last one. So Center, Verdance, Mario, Florian, Kano, KO. Lots of K's. So playing this out. So again, appreciate Noah for his patronage and whatnot, since he can't go to Yokohama. So he was like, "Yep, we're gonna play it out for sure." So let's just get on with it. You see me, I'm just praying for channel and try to get there.
Hey, hold on, we're streaming. Are we that kind of stream though? You can say whatever.
So I choose to go first because I want that channel.
Sure. We're gonna activate.
Make some rune chants. Pass.
They're not hard enough.
I'm gonna look at some nail clippers real quick.
Not polished. They're not particularly sharp.
Oh, sorry, my phone was right there. No, 40. 40.
So from here, kind of awkward hand. He sends out some damage. I just take the damage because I need to be able to do something. I make another rune chant because I need to be able to send this Rune Raider Swarm coming in for 4 and 3. ABs takes 3 or 4 total. Now I send the sword, takes 3 more. Kindles, does some stuff. And this is very much a typical Kano like matchup where, you know, I'm getting beat down. I'm already at 32. So
Sure. Sounds good to me. Yep.
So wildfires, I do get that seeds. That seeds is pretty cool, but you know, you can see that Deny Redemption. I just play it out. It doesn't really do anything. Sonic Boom, he's playing like kind of the mid-rangey Kano style. And then we'll just kind of skip to the end. He establishes a bunch of potions. I'm not able to push him down nearly far enough. Felling. He spindles, I AB some, I go again, I attack with my 0 for 3, because, I mean, it's 3 versus 3, it doesn't really matter. So now he's going to try to go. Yes, yes, I'm lucky that Canopy worked, for sure. I was also on Face Purgatory that game, on the center game, if that's what we're talking about. And the Face Purgatory was, oh my god, good. Like, it took his, like, double finisher turn. It was kind of nuts. So yeah, he plays this. Obviously, I just have to take it all because I got nothing else. I got confused about that card because I forgot that it wasn't banned or restricted or whatever. That's the card that's restricted in LL. And I was like, oh, they get to play all of those. That's insane. So, and he just keeps zooming. He just has like a billion resources and just does whatever he wants. And then He's going to crack his Striders, play the Blazing for lethal. Oh, I'm going backwards. Sorry. You told me. Or maybe it was just damage. But either way, you know, I got blown up. It's a very hard matchup. And we're going to watch what he opens.
Worse, actually.
You're worse than Curtis.
I play Kano.
He plays Kano. Oh my god.
That's right.
Yes.
Yes, we were talking about you. Yes, yes.
Yes, there's a reason I'm on the reviled match.
Yes, that is true.
All right, let's open it up.
All right, let's see what you got.
Let's open it up. Come on.
If you guys haven't seen this is pretty cool.
Come on. All right, what are we looking for, actually?
Code of Frost. Code of
Metacarpus, probably. Metacarpus means
Something Kano themed would be good.
Wizard would be great.
Yeah, something wizard related. Halo of Illumination? That doesn't sound very
No.
Wizards don't like that one.
Prize
Oh
Galleon.
my god!
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you want some cash?
Josh
bro?
is into that.
Dude, I didn't even
Yeah,
know.
absolutely.
Dude,
I think Weakest Link
I
is
will-
a good suggestion for
I
sure.
will possibly make you an offer.
I will take it.
All right. We'll see you guys.
Yep. Josh, being one of 4 Olympia players in the world, decided to buy the Gold Oil Prize Gallia for his soon-to-be competitive, viable Olympia deck. We'll see if that happens. But yeah, super cool. Super cool. So he got a super good deal on this. Happy for Josh. And, you know, Noah got some cash in his pocket. Works out. So, yeah, that's the story of my ProQuest win. So hopefully you enjoyed that. From here, I don't want to show all of the decks, but this is kind of my testing here. I've been testing a lot of LL lately. A little bit of Starvo, a little bit other decks. You know, don't want to give away all the spice. So, whoops. This is the deck that I kind of been playing around with lately in CC. So this is probably what I'm going to lean towards, something along these lines. Probably not specifically this list, even though it's been doing really well. So this is the list that won Hammer Calling. So this was Arthur Trehate. I think that's how you say his last name. Apologize. But I think it's pretty good. You know, I was in Talishar Artist getting his gravy. And, you know, just having 2 trees. And then they ended up, thought this was interesting. So the list that Majin played and won a Battle Harden was the same as Art's list that he won a Battle Harden, almost exactly. There's a couple of things, the Sirens of Safe Harbor, and they had more channels. So like the new channel, Bottoms Auras. And the interesting thing about that is if you're not playing like a potion combo, you can cycle your trees back and be able to push more damage that way. And then they also had Evergreen Loop in their deck just in general. So the way the Evergreen Loop works, obviously, you play this from Arsenal, you get some extra damage. And if you have a Everbloom Life as well, so you got to have a hand that is blue, Everbloom Life this, and another blue or something along those lines. You Everbloom Life, get another Everbloom Life back on the bottom of your deck. You attack with your Evergreen, then you Moon as well, so you're able to strip basically their entire hand. And I appreciate the congratulations. So this list, they have moved both him and Brody top 8'd with the exact same 80 as well. And of course, you know, they're on Team Armory, so it makes sense that they would be playing basically the same list, or exactly the same list. And the big thing that I kind of pull away from this is obviously they added the potion combo back. Now you don't have Plume, so you can't just rampant growth get the combo super easily anymore. But when you're playing potion, generally it's going to be those like really grindy style fatigue matchups where it's going to be mid-rangey or control or something along those lines. And being able to just play these out and second cycle, you pitch stack these properly, you're able to just like double rampant, kill your opponent out of nowhere. It's really, really good. It's not out of nowhere. I guess it's planned, right? So, but the Sirens has been very good. I've been pretty impressed with this card because it's kind of like a 2 for 6 at blue when you are hero power active, because it goes to the graveyard, you gain a life, that's the extra point, and then you deal 1 ping however you want to. Whether that's to an ally against Gravy, which has been the majority of the times when I played it, or against Syndra, you know, just pinging an additional life. Well, I guess when you're blocking, you're not getting the life ping, but either way, it's kind of like a 3 block in that situation as well. Yeah, I've been really, really impressed with this card against the Gravies. So just being able to kill whatever and then like ping a rigor mortis or something along those lines. The yellow rootbound carapace has been on the chopping block for me. That everything that else looks pretty good with this, so I've been pretty impressed. Of course, need to play around with the idea of, do I need potions? Do I not need potions? We'll see. We'll see. So that's pretty much it. So apologies for anybody tuning in hoping to hear about some Guardian talk. We are not doing that. The closest thing we got is Florian at this point, because the other Guardians are not doing as well as we would like, and the class needs some help. Needs some help. The moment a Guardian is legitimately playable outside of a fatigue centric game plan, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. The best one right now is probably Victor. Valda is the next best from what I've seen when it comes to stats. If you look at the stats here, the meta results. Now, it could have changed since I last messed around. But, you know, generally I'm a Guardian guy, so we're going to talk a little bit about Guardian. So 44, that's more than I expected, to be honest. 47, not so great. Obviously the best Guardian so far, so we'll loop him in there. Jarl not doing hot either. The only really viable list for that has been the fatigue-centric style. It's been doing okay, but it's still got some pretty poor matchups, obviously. Yeah, Lyeth, very poor. Very poor. Pleiades, also very poor. Worse than Lyeth, surprisingly. And then Valda and Victor, right? So that is kind of the Guardians, and the reason kind of is because of Florian, but he's easily like the best pick out of any of these when it comes to like these mid-range style game plans that play similarly to the Germinate Unban. I had to play Florian. I had to, because like it's so hard to get fatigue now because you just have that looped in. It's very strong. But yeah, like I was saying, these are the best right here. And Victor, pretty good against things like where's Syndra? Syndra, right? So if Syndra was the best deck, then this would be probably pretty reasonable. Newsflash, I don't think she is. The other one is, you got to look at Verdance. Like, what are you doing against Verdance? So Florian, unfavored. You can see that here. Going first, you get a little bit higher percent. Still not great either way. It's 40-60. And of course, if you're playing one of the Guardians, it doesn't really matter. Funny enough, there's a 50% for Betsy. That's wild. That's wild. Maybe Betsy is the best Guardian. That's a joke. It's a joke. But yeah. Anyway. So what am I looking into for Worlds? LL is kind of a crapshoot, honestly. It's so degenerate. We've been calling it the sewer format. Sorry, LSS, but like, it's so swingy. Like, it feels like there's not a significant amount of like skill expression. It's just, did you deal the hand that you need to be able to kill your opponent, or did you not? Which is to me not so fun. So in CC, it's a little bit interesting for sure. But yeah, I will not be touching a Guardian for Worlds. That is unfortunately a truth of the matter. Unless I just figure something out. So as of right now, not looking good. But big ones to look at, and you can just look at the stats here. So Arachne has been doing very good, believe it or not. I think Arachne is kind of an interesting thing to look at. So it's fatigue centric, which is not my favorite way to play, but the new Hunter or Hunted card is like actually so insane against like certain decks. Like it's actually pretty good against things like Verdance, right? I'm curious what the matchup percentage is against Verdance. Excuse me, low percent, which is interesting because I think a really stronger Arachne would be able to kind of figure that matchup out, but you know. But yeah, Syndra, I can see Syndra being a little bit hard for sure. And then just don't feel like this is super represented. Gravy is like really, really bad. But out of these Satins, Huntsman, believe it or not, is the one that I would look into more so than anything. Out of the Guardians, it would be Victor. Syndra, obviously, doing pretty well, 55%. Dory has been doing pretty well on Talishar stats as well. The new card seems to have pushed her a little bit on that, and especially if you're playing against a bunch of Syndra, that is a matchup that you're going to be pretty well versed into. Same thing with other weird decks like Marlin. You know, again, I think of Taylor every single time I think of Marlin, and Dory is pretty good against some Marlin. And then Gravy, you can just kind of build up your Dawnblade counters, which makes sense. Do expect a good amount of Gravy at Worlds, because I think it's a deck that the stronger the pilot is, the stronger the deck is. So even at the 50%, it's going to be a strong contender no matter what. Dory's bad matchups looks like it is basically Earth Heroes and Guardian. And you know you got a bunch of Earth Heroes, so maybe not the strongest, but if you expect Syndra to be the height of the metagame, then maybe it is a good pick. Florian looking pretty strong as well. It's just the problem with that is like you kind of lose the Verdance mirror, like Earth mirror. And your Kingdom matchup's pretty poor. Wizard matchup in general is poor, like we were talking about. And then Gravy is, I think, very unfavored. I don't think this is super representative of that as well, at least personally. Yeah, against a strong Gravy, it's going to be very difficult. Kasai has been doing good. Josh just did a stream on that. Florian versus Huntsman is just keep life total high. Hold 4 blues. In the game, you should have them below. All the contracts off the top won't matter anymore. Need to hold 4 blue in case they have surgical distractions at the end. Yeah. The problem is if they like snipe your Germinate, it's a problem, right? Because they can just kind of outgrind you, and you don't really have the flexibility that Verdance has of just sending Arcane consistently. You have to attack, right? Otherwise, like, they're just gonna eat you away and fatigue you. So that's the worrying card, is the Hunter or Hunted card. That card is like kind of nutso bananas, but they have to see it. You know, it has to be your top card, and you have to get a little unlucky for that. Otherwise, I think the Germinate is probably fine. Like that Germinate centric game plan. So yeah, Kasai, Josh just did a stream on that. He won a ProQuest on it as well, the Hatchet Kasai. So I think this deck there's a good amount to it, right? So unfavored into Florian, unfavored into the other Earth hero as well. But everything else is pretty good, right? Out of the meta decks that we kind of expect, right? So I think she's an overall okay pick. She is slightly favored into Syndra, which makes sense. The other deck I was kind of looking into, everybody was thinking about KO Armed and Dangerous and all the cool stuff that he got in this new set, but he has not been performing as well as we had initially thought. He has a pretty hard matchup into Verdance, so I don't think he's a bad pick per se, but it's not something that I am going to play. these are the decks that I would be looking at, but that's one he's already kind of eliminated from my area. Underhanded cheat though. This one is a little bit better. Obviously, your Florian matchup is just dog water. It's terrible because you have so much life gain. They have Reaping Blade and they have Terminate Plan. Like, you can't really do anything about it, so they just kind of outvalue you. But your Verdance matchup, even though it shows 42%, I actually think is like pretty good if you have the right tech for it. You know, poison the wells on the side and whatnot, because you're able to play a ton of blues. You can play Oasis in your list and things like that. And generally, you're going to be doing more value per turn if you can counteract their combo, right? So this one was higher on the list. Still in contention for me. The Syndra matchup can be hard though, so that's the other consideration here. Celio is very good as well. It shows some lower percentages on some of these, but I think a really strong Celio pair, just like any wizard other than Verdance. I think Verdance is the lowest skill threshold to play. No offense, just is the way it is. The other wizards in the hands of the right pilot are going to be really, really strong. A top 4 and top 8 over the weekend on Florian. It's weird because I think he's better positioned than Verdance, but the data doesn't reflect it so far. See, I think Verdance is better positioned for sure. I think they're both good decks, obviously, like we've been talking about. And I think you have some really good matchups. It's just your wizard matchup is bad and your gravy matchup is, based on Talishar data, respectable but unfavored and not good. Whereas I would much rather be on the Verdance side for any of those matchups as well. So your Syndra plan, I haven't had a hard time in the Syndra personally when it comes to playing Verdance. I'd rather be Verdance than Florian. Let's see what the data says. 45. It shows Florian is higher than her. Interesting. Just the Stormstrider's kill against Syndra is kind of insane. Like, you're just, I don't know, you're just able to be a little more efficient, in my opinion. But yeah, Verdance, lower matchup into Gravy as well, based on Talishar data. Yeah, Verdance says insane true damage, absolutely. So let's kind of go back down the list. So I think that Celio is a pretty good option. Rest of these, if they're under 40% or 50%, hello ad. Interesting. Heck. Yeah, if they're under 50%, they're generally, that's usually a good representation. So, like, again, any of these Guardians, the big thing for me, Earth Heroes, pretty good. We know that. Syndra, pretty good. We know that. Good. Corinthia, good. Right. And then, again, Arachne, I think he's still pretty deep. From testing, the Gravy matchup felt better. Syndra is a weird trade-off because going first has payoff for Verdance. I agree on the wizard point. Anecdotally, there isn't much Kano in my region. That's also fair. Well, at Worlds, there I bet there's going to be some Kano. It's because there's always Kano at those tier 4s and whatnot. So I made some buttons here on this just to give an idea. So against like Gravy, with Talishar, I think this does up your percentage a little bit. And I haven't played a significant amount. So my results are not super. I don't know what this win set is. Oh, my team was playing this. They lost to a win set. Okay. Well, the rest are mine. I've gotten 100% on it. Yeah, Gravy I was able to beat, and I was able to almost like pseudo fatigue and then kill him out with Stormstriders with Light Up the Leaves. Now, you don't get your Waning Moon to be able to push that. There was a real good game at the Calling Hamburg that Jacob Clements played, and he was on probably the same list except minus Talishar because he was playing the Waning Moon, but he was playing Pots and Rampant Growth. He was just like super aggressive. And the Gravy got like 3 Sawbones out, and he was able to just like get around that. Never killed him at all. and still was able to push it for lethal, which was super interesting to watch. So you should definitely watch that if you're interested in seeing Verdant Sport Gravy gameplay. But yeah, against Gravy, the idea is I didn't want to play pots or rampant growth into them, and obviously the shelters and whatnot. But yeah, Sirens has been really good. Obviously, you drop a Ring of Roses and decompose to turn your hero power on. This card is really insane as well. And then your Burn Bears and Light Up the Leaves that kill basically everything. CNC, there's only 2 CNC in this list, and I actually kind of like that. But there are a lot of matchups where I end up not bringing it. So, like Florian, for instance, this is a card that I would cut. Right, Burn Bear, Command and Conquer, Shelters, Sirens into them just to be lean and mean. So, but yeah, this has felt pretty good, surprisingly. So, and then the mirror, get to play all of this extra stuff, which is really cool. And the only downside to the mirror is like, if I cut potions and I'm up against the mirror and they have potions, I feel like the potions person is better off in the mirror, right? I think that makes logical sense. It's also a matchup where I don't play V-Rex, Command and Conquer, or Sirens. Because they want to block, right? This card is just a 6. Like, you want to play that against decks that want to keep their full hand. Verdance is very happy not keeping their full hand. So, yeah. All in all, she's been really good. These are the only buttons I have, unfortunately. But these are the main ones that I kind of consider. RKO is kind of weird. I just said listen to the whole thing just because I think that matchup can be a little hard. Just to make sure I don't get ground out. Yeah, block is so good. So I think this card is the main reason I think Syndra is better for her. And the fact that Syndra starts at like basically 31. Because of your Storm Strider skill with the Light of the Leaves and Burn Bear. And you need more consistent 3 blocks too. Than Florian does. Yeah, it's interesting. Obviously, I'm leaning towards this deck right now, but if she gets neutered, then Florian is back to being my main boy. Still my main boy. This is my main girl. So, curious what you guys think about LL. What are we thinking about LL? Living Legend Heroes. Okay. Well, I need more 3 blocks in Florian. Maybe so. I don't know what I would cut, though. Let me pull up my Florian list. Where is Florian? Here it is. You don't like Canopy, I know that. So I'll be playing something else in that slot. I think I have a bunch of maybe board cards. Like Oath or something. I think Oath is reasonable. Wouldn't be surprised if this was something that you chose over the Canopy. I just like having a good Earth base to make sure that my channels are always going to be like playable 90% of the time when I draw them. So it's kind of the idea. Also, Rune Rager probably being a 3 of wasn't super necessary. 3 condemns, that's fair too. I think Oath is pretty good. I don't think it's insane, but I think it's pretty good. Yeah, like Rune Rager, thought about cutting one of these. Playing, I don't know. I could see you playing Warmongers or something, but it seems a little less too. You like Truce and Warmongers? I do like Truce. I think Truce is cool. Always been a big fan of Truce. Especially like a turn 1 drop. Super, super good. So, Living Legend. Not sure how relevant this data is. Rune Ragers help a ton in the gravy. Yes, they do. But I think the gravy matchup, having a third blue Rune Rager probably isn't swinging that heavily, that you could probably replace this with something else. It's kind of my thought process. So Aurora, kind of mid, not the best. Bravo, star of the show. So this is my guy. I love Bravo, star of the show. Love him, love him, love him. And I was on the cope that he was still going to be great after the Crown of Seeds ban, whatever else. Because he's some pretty insane stuff, right? Like he's got I'll show you my Bravo deck that I've been messing with. So he's got some really neat things, like obviously crippling and Oaken, but only having one of each. That's kind of problematic, right? When you don't have Crown of Seas to consistently fuse every single turn. Then you get options to play 3 Starstruck, but this card is kind of hard to cast a lot of times. You only get 1 Awakening. This card has been very good in Prism. So if you're playing Starvo, I would definitely consider messing around with this. This is extremely helpful because I was playing games without this against Willie B. He was destroying me. And I played this, and then I started beating him. So I was like, all right, that card's pretty good. So, but the main issue I've been finding, and maybe my ratios are just all fucked up, which I don't think they're actually that bad. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 Earth at maximum. And there are situations where I do play this, spinal choke slams, depending on what I'm playing against. So the Earth is a little bit more lean because of the phalanx, right? That makes sense. The ice is basically static. I do have the blizzards, and there are situations where I am not bringing those in all the time, like specifically Starvo Mirror. Well, I actually think I do play it. That card might not need to be side. Yeah, maybe not. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that's like kind of low. That might be bad. I've just seen some consistency issues with doing the fusing actively, right? So that could be a user error issue. I also may be pilled on playing more Warmongers, but I think this card is very good, obviously, into Rune Blades that are going to be played. So it's probably correct to have 3. And then you have like the best equipment suite in the entire game. So like it's actually pretty surprising that he is doing so poorly compared to a bunch of different things. So like I have not played against a single Enigma, I can promise that. Just click in to make it easier to see. So Dromai, I can kind of agree with that. Dromai can be pretty difficult. Florian also makes sense that would be like near auto loss. So the Florian deck is kind of like a Germinate Scalata combo kill you. And they just a ton of reacts, and like they just don't give a shit about anything that you're doing. And the moment you try to do any kind of disruption that is relevant to disrupting their rune chance, so if you play like whatever the tower card is, Smack to Reality, or Smack of Reality. Excuse me. They just have so much armor. They're just okay, whatever. Here, block. And then you're only ever getting a 13. It's never going to be more than that, unless you're playing pummels and whatnot, which might be some that I need. But you're not fusing if you do that most of the time, right? You have to be super, super, super lucky to have pummel plus 3 blues that are all the elements that you need, plus having the smack in like your arsenal is just kind of asking a lot. Ira, don't really have to worry about her anymore because of the Zephyr Needle. As far as I know, I could be wrong. I haven't seen any gravy. I haven't tested this gravy. I have tested into a little bit of Marlin, just because like it's basically the new Lexi, and she does some pretty insane stuff. Apparently Burdens is bad. It's interesting. And Zen is pretty good. That makes sense too. So I think it's like we expect a bunch of aggro decks that it's respectable, and I think Viscerai, if they're trying to do the stack thing, is pretty bad for us. But I think Chain is likely pretty okay, especially with the extra Warmongers, right? I don't think he's like a bad pick. I really want to play him, but I'm going to have to play around with some of these Runeblades, all the ones that have the higher percentages, just because they're doing really well, honestly. Chain doing really well, but I'm kind of afraid of Warmongers him, but maybe there's some build that doesn't care about that much. I have no idea. Briar is very easy to play, so that one's kind of appealing to me at the same time. The Illusionists, if the aggro doesn't show up, are going to be very, very strong. So if there's more Illusionists, that's bad for Starfoot, right? So that's the way I kind of think about it. My headset went off. On headset. So Phi is interesting as well. I'm surprised that he's so low. Because you got Stubbies, Art of War, stuff like that. Maybe Syndra is the better version of between those two. Does that make sense? Because you have the chest, you have the flick, and you can Art of War off of the flick resource. So you can just have more damage capacity from that. Yeah, that's reasonable. I think the best one is probably Zen, though. Wow. I guess not. I haven't seen these stats. Icelander not doing great. Be expected, kind of. I guess this is also incorporating everything. I'm missing sauce against the Runeblades. What's that? It's Warmongers. I have Warmongers, right? Warmongers in channel. Renounce Grandeur. Oh shit. It's a new card, isn't it? Renounce Grandeur. There are so many cards. It's so hard. Here controls an aura token. I've reviewed these cards. I just don't remember. They can't create aura tokens during their next turn. See, yes, it's good against Chain. It might be worth it. Might be worth it. I'll have to play around with that. In the maybe. It's like a 2 of, likely, if I do that. But the deck is so tight. That's like the main problem. Is the Guardian attacks that are in here are so good into certain matchups that like it's really hard to cut anymore. And you need the rest of the elemental suite. And Warmongers, I think, generically probably a better option than some of these attacks, right? So just because you have so much utility, like the downside of having this is it's just a blue 3 block, right? And you can use that to play a felling, which is really good. Yeah. This is including all of the stats between everything, so I think this is probably yeah, for sure. This is misrepresented. Yeah, Prism had been doing very good in our testing as well. Viscerai strong, for sure. Zen is pretty good still too, so I'm surprised to see that. No rune chance, no shadow. Yes, I can see the relevance of that. It is very good for that. The only problem is, like, if you're playing against a stack style Viserai or Florian, that them not creating rune chance during a turn, it doesn't really bother them significantly. You know what I'm saying? I'll definitely try it. I think it'll be really good in chain. Maybe not, right? Why not try it? So, yeah, if I can figure out Starvo, I'll definitely lean towards playing this. Sure. If I see something else that looks interesting, mainly the other one that makes the most sense to me is Viserai. Because I played Viserai in the past, and having the utility of being able to go like aggro Registrorum package and the Malefic Incantation and Verges and things like that, right? Like, it's just good. I've never really played Chain, so I probably could learn him, but not to the capacity that the people who are going, like Pablo and you know, like Cody from the Runaways, like those people, they're just gonna absolutely wreck me in the mirror because they've been doing this for so much longer. So Viserai is a little bit more forgiving, in my opinion. So that's kind of the idea. That and Briar. Briar's pretty simple to play too. I seem to play the two heroes that you play as well. Okay. So you play Starbo, it sounds like? Hey, I'm open to suggestions on my Starbo deck because I definitely do not have this solved. So Crust has been very good though. I have enjoyed this. The idea with that is like you block Gauntlet's Crust and then you can play a crippling off of your fuse or something like that. And you can block with additional card, whatever you want to do. Because you don't really have a lot of weird costed cards. So getting your tunic whenever your tunic resource whenever you want it, and also having more block value has been pretty good. So tunic was obviously mainstay with the Crown of Seeds, but now without Crown of Seeds, it might be more worth just having the extra block. Who knows? Who knows? I do like these blinks too, so it's gonna be hard to pry me off blinks. Big fan of blinking my my Prism opponent to try to clear the board for sure. Turn Timber's been good, Brute Bound's been good. Pretty much all of these cards have been really strong. Chokeslam is for other weird decks. It's pretty good in the mirror. It's good against like Marlin, obviously. Somebody is crazy enough to bring Azalea, and it'd be good in that too. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Gonna be fun. Looking forward to Worlds. Still need to register. Gonna have to make sure. Not sure when the cutoff is on that. You guys know? I heard it was like basically a week from now. Heck, I hope it's not today. I'm just gonna do that now. We'll in stream and do it. Alright, sorry. Let's see. I actually considered bringing Zelia back to Houston because it's the only LL deck I have built here before she LL, but everyone running Warmongers, yeah. Yeah, everybody's going to be running Warmongers for sure. Especially these first like starting tournaments, absolutely. Because they're so good in the like chain and like aggro Viserai is good in Briar. Like it just so happens to also hit Azalea pretty hard, right? So But don't let that deter you from having fun. Fun is the point for tournaments like Battle Hardened and stuff, in my opinion. Obviously, you want to win too, but the cash payout for those is not significant enough to, you know, bash your head against a wall trying to figure out the most optimal thing, right? Like optimal deck. So you should be playing an optimal version of whatever deck you are playing, but I wouldn't have too much heartburn over, oh, I'm not playing one of the top 3 decks, you know, because I'm sure you can do pretty well. It's a lot less rounds too. All right. Well, I think that's it. Probably not going to play any games today. It's a little bit later. I don't think anybody probably wants to see any Florian games with this iteration, but I will post this if any of you guys want to kind of take it for a spin. Again, for the listeners, I would let Crown of Providence. I don't think this card is needed in the slightest. I would play, like, if you expect Jarl or Puffin or whatever at your ProQuest, I think Dread Scythe is a reasonable include, and then you could also play any of your additional pieces here, like Deny Redemption. I like the suggestion that Moxie had with the Weakest Link. I think that card is probably very relevant and to a good amount of matchups. I do like it. You want more versatile options, that would be. But if you expect a bunch of verdants, which you probably should, like, this card might be more of a silver bullet. You know what I mean? Live in Houston, so it'd be the only reason I consider going to an LL event. You should go. Yeah, Battle Hardens are a lot of fun. You get to meet a lot of cool people. You get to have some really good competitive games, and it'll level you up. I think it's a good experience for sure. If you have a local Battle Harden, if you have the time and availability to do that, I definitely do that. Time, availability, funds, all the above, right? It'll be a good time. But yeah, so again, I'll post this list. It'll be in our live streams posted list in the Discord. I'll also put it in probably a little like folder tag so people can ask questions and things like that. So I think I'm going to end it there. And I appreciate you guys sticking around and listen to me jabberjaw all over my PQ and meta-analysis style things. So went to the last Battle Hardened brought Dory, but I just don't have an LL deck. I won't have enough fun to justify the entry fee plus $40 parking and an hour drive. Hey, that's fair. That's fair. But yeah, appreciate it. Hope you all have a good night. We're going to try to be a little more regular, and next week might be some more, not more, but some testing, some lists that I am considering for Worlds. We will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.